There are decisions we only truly understand or judge after the story ends. And in the case of the Los Angeles Dodgers, the 2025 story is still being written, but the pen they used at the trade deadline was very different from what everyone expected. The window closed, the phones went quiet, and when the dust settled, one fact stood out loud and clear. The Dodgers didn't make any impact trades. No big gambles, no all-in moves. And when we're talking about the Dodgers, that feels almost like a paradox. A team known for operating with boldness, with aggression, with surgical intelligence, chose to simply hold their cards. And more than that, to trust the players they already had, many of whom are still recovering from injury. It's like they're playing chess in the middle of a poker game. While other franchises were bluffing, buying chips, looking for last-minute reinforcements, the Dodgers kept a calm, almost emotionless face. And of course, that drew attention. But hold on, before throwing stones or handing out imaginary trophies, we need to understand the reason behind this decision, or rather, this non-decision, that could define the fate of one of the MLB's most powerful franchises. So take a deep breath, get comfortable, because today's video goes deep. We're diving into the mindset of Andrew Friedman, into the front office's thought process, into the bats that haven't heated up, and most importantly, the arms that haven't returned. And yes, we're going to talk expectations. Because when it comes to the Dodgers, expectation is the middle name of the season, September. And of course, while you're here, despite still playing at a high level, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new content. Now, let's get into it. Why did the Dodgers stay so quiet at the deadline? The most obvious and perhaps truest answer is that they don't think they need anyone else. Yep, just like that. They believe in what they've got. And that might sound arrogant or visionary. Depends entirely on how the season ends. But to really understand this choice, we need a bit more context. Let's rewind a few steps. During the winter, the Dodgers were one of the most active teams of the offseason. They made waves signing Blake Snell, one of the hottest names on the market. They invested heavily in Shohei Ohtani, even though he couldn't pitch this year. And perhaps most intriguingly, they brought in Roki Sasaki, the 22-year-old Japanese phenom carrying sky-high hype and the weight of international promise on his shoulders. Those moves sent a clear message. The Dodgers wanted to win. Now, not in 2026. Not 3 years from now. Now. But baseball is a cruel sport when it comes to impatience. And when April turned into May and May into June, cracks began to show in the roster, especially in the bullpen. Injuries piled up. Key players like Michael Kopech and Tanner Scott spent more time off the field than on the mound. And Roki Sasaki? Well, after just 8 starts, he landed on the IL with a shoulder issue. The Japanese dream became Japanese silence. Naturally, given that scenario, fans and analysts expected reinforcements at the deadline. After all, if there's one thing the Dodgers have, it's a loaded farm system. Talented, highly rated, and, most importantly, tradable prospects. The perfect recipe for a blockbuster deal. But that blockbuster never happened. Instead of big names, only 2 arrived. Brock Stewart, a relief pitcher, and Alex Call, an outfielder. 2 players who had depth, sure, but who are far from changing a team ceiling. Stewart could be helpful in the bullpen, but he's not the kind of name that scares hitters in October. And Alex Call, while versatile and hardworking, is unlikely to be a starter in a crucial series. These are support pieces, background figures. So the question lingers, why didn't the Dodgers make a big move? Andrew Friedman, the team's president of baseball operations, is one of the most respected executives in the league. But he's also methodical, cautious, extremely rational. And he's followed one philosophy consistently for years. Don't overpay in July. In other words, He doesn't like giving up top prospects for players who will only be around for 3 months, even if those players could swing a postseason. Friedman prefers building sustainable teams with long windows and balanced rosters. He bets on health, on injury returns, on internal development. And in 2025, he doubled down on that approach. Because according to him, and also to manager Dave Roberts, the Dodgers' reinforcements are already in-house. They just need to be healthy. And truthfully, that internal return could be significant. Roki Sasaki is expected back before the playoffs. Michael Kopech, too. Kirby Yates, a seasoned and precise veteran, is on the horizon. Tanner Scott, a powerful lefty, is another name close to wearing the blue again. That's 4 arms that, if they return strong, could form a respectable bullpen. And all of that without making a single trade. Manager Dave Roberts, known for his motivational style, didn't hide his confidence. "I think we got better," he told reporter Jack Harris of the LA Times. "I love our club. Now it's up to all of us to go out and do our job." It's a direct message, one that inspires confidence in the group, but it also carries risk. Because in October, baseball is unforgiving. A shaky bullpen can sink a team in one bad night. And if that happens, if the Dodgers get bounced early again, the lack of a big move at the deadline will be remembered as the trigger. But let's look at it from another angle. What if it works out? What if Sasaki comes back and dominates? What if Kopech finds his rhythm? What if Scott and Yates peak at the right time? If that happens, Friedman will be praised as a genius who resisted market pressure and trusted the plan. And that's what makes baseball so unpredictable. You never know if you're seeing prudence or complacency. Now, beyond the technical side, there's something we can't ignore: the human element. Roki Sasaki is more than just an international prospect. He's a symbol. At 22, he carries the hopes of an entire nation and has to manage that in a completely new environment. It's hard, it's isolating, and injuries only make it heavier. He's still learning the language, adapting to a new culture, facing massive expectations. And now, he's returning from a shoulder injury. That changes everything. It's not just a technical return. It's emotional, psychological, mental. Michael Kopech, on the other hand, is a modern-day phoenix. Talented, explosive, but inconsistent. Every outing is a question mark. But when he's on, he's dominant. The Dodgers believe that in a controlled environment with less pressure, he can thrive. Maybe even become the X factor of the postseason. And that's exactly why this Dodgers approach can be read simplistically. It's not laziness. It's not cheapness. It's a bet, a philosophy. It's a belief that what you've built behind the scenes might be more valuable than what's on display in the window. But of course, there's precedent. And it's not always encouraging. In 2022, the Dodgers were also cautious at the deadline. They held on to their top prospects, trusted their roster. The result? A quick playoff exit. At the time, many defended the strategy. But critics remembered, baseball rewards bold decisions, especially in a league where teams like the Braves, Yankees, and Astros aren't afraid to make big moves when the window's open. And that's one of the main questions critics are asking now. The Dodgers' window is open, but for how much longer? Freeman and Betts are playing at elite levels, but they're not getting younger. Ohtani won't pitch until 2026, and the competition is only getting stronger. Braves, Phillies, Brewers all made upgrades. And the Dodgers? Well, the Dodgers trusted what they had. And that, today, is as admirable as it is dangerous. Still, we can't ignore the positives of this choice. The team kept its top prospects, didn't mortgage the future for a short-term shot. If the pieces fit and the injured players return strong, this roster could be one of the most complete in the league. And if the goal is long-term thinking, maybe this really was the best decision. Now, looking ahead, what should we expect? Over the next few weeks, all eyes will be on the bullpen. The performance of the relief arms will say a lot about the team's consistency. If Sasaki proves he's 100%, he'll be given a major role right away. Kopech and Scott will have crucial roles in tight games. And Yates, with his experience, could be the anchor in late innings. Offensively, the team is still strong, but it needs more consistency. As Dave Roberts himself said, the players know they need to play better, and that internal awareness could be a difference maker. The regular season still promises some great moments, but everyone's eyes, absolutely everyone's, are locked on October. If the Dodgers fall short again, the quiet trade deadline will become deafening. But if they win it all, this restrained strategy will be retold as a stroke of genius. And what about you? What do you think of the Dodgers' approach? Would you have made a bolder trade? Would you have dealt a prospect for an elite arm? Or do you think Friedman's plan makes sense? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because your opinion matters here. And as always, the conversation continues down below. If you liked the video, hit that like button, share it with other Dodgers fans, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown. We'll still be talking about Sasaki's return, Kopech's impact, and the real title chances of this roster that didn't make moves, but still promises a lot. See you in the next video. Until then, here's hoping October brings answers. Because for now, the Dodgers' silence still says a lot.